Hello fellow makeup lovers. Today we're going to be talking all about my June favorites, talking about all the makeup I've been reaching for, and then I also have a few lifestyle favorites because you guys said that you missed that last month, which I thought was sweet and I wasn't expecting, so I'm gonna include some other things that aren't makeup. Let's just go ahead and start. I will say in the makeup category, I have my clear set favorites that I have been testing for long enough to call a favorite, but then I also have some like foreshadowing favorites, that's what I'm gonna call it, of products that I tried very recently, but I'm literally so obsessed that I didn't want to talk about them because I was like, I tried them really recently, but also I had to talk about them because they're so good. It's like right in the middle, so I wanted to give you a little warning that I haven't been testing them out that long and like my full thoughts are still coming, but right now they are like the love of my life. So jumping right on in, I have been really enjoying the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. I didn't think anything of this. I don't even remember reviews of this. I mean, I'm sure that I've seen them. I'm sure like I've heard things like passing by, but I ended up getting this gifted to me when I was on the trip in Charleston and I've been testing it since then and I'm actually really impressed. I feel like this is the perfect like matte, medium coverage, stay all day kind of foundation, but it's still hydrating. It doesn't get dry on my skin and I just feel like this foundation lasts so well on me. Sometimes when I'm going like super dewy, it doesn't have like as much staying power, especially in like the really hot, humid heat. But this foundation has been what I've been reaching for with all of these hot days and just it honestly stays so well. And I will say, I haven't like put them like to the test like side by side, but I recently tried the Natasha Denona Foundation X Plus foundation and I feel like the formula of these are really similar. I don't know if anyone else feels like that. They have a similar finish. I feel like they last the same amount of time on my skin and I actually have been mixing them together a little bit because the ColourPop one is a little bit light for me right now and the Natasha Denona one is a little bit bronzy for me, so actually together is perfect, but together they look the same as they look apart. Like I'm only combining them because of the shades. So yeah, really recommend this if you're looking for just like a good, affordable, long-wearing foundation. I have the shade Fair 10N, which like I said is a little light for me. And because this is like becoming a summer staple, I feel like I should go ahead and purchase the shade up from this because, you know, then it will work better and easier for me. But I have so many foundations that normally when the shade doesn't match, I just mix. Okay, next we can also talk about the Auric Glow Lust. I know this is a long-term favorite for me, but I just wanted to mention it because I have been adding this into like pretty much every foundation recently and I just love it so much. This is the old Morganite shade, which is no longer available. I really do want to purchase the new Morganite shade, but just want to say the formula of this is so good if you're just looking for something to add that extra glow into your foundation or into your primer, into a moisturizer, whatever you want to add glow into. This is just honestly the best. And I feel like the reason this stands out is because it adds a glow. It does not add shimmer. It doesn't add sparkle. It doesn't look like a highlighter on your face. Like it just looks like so neutral and natural. So as far as my under eyes go, I have been obsessed with this combo for a full coverage glam moment underneath the eyes. This is the Becca Fairlight Under Eye Brightener, technically Becca times Smashbox, but it's been my go-to. It's just a really good, lightweight under eye corrector. I did have someone say that they feel like this like changes the consistency of their concealer, and that has happened to me, but what I've learned is that less is more. I try to go in with my ring finger because it's the most gentle, but I don't always remember. But I just take a really tiny amount and just like dot it and just blend it in. I use so little that you can almost barely even see the shade once I've applied it, but that's kind of the point. It's just less is more with this product. And I've also been loving adding the Natasha Denona High Glam Concealer on top. I have the shade Y1 and this combo is what I have underneath my eyes today. Like I feel like it just looks so good, and I did see someone describe this as like crease resistant, and I would personally agree with that. I feel like it just lasts really beautifully. It doesn't look like a hydrating concealer per se, but it does not drag out the under eyes. It doesn't get like cakey. I mean, I have like, you know, a few natural creases that's gonna happen. Like I'm a human being with creases in my skin. It's kind of unavoidable, but it looks really, really good. And I also have another favorite, but it's not necessarily a product, it's just a technique. I have been using the BK Beauty, let me see, what is this? The 212 blending brush. But I saw a TikTok about blending out your concealer with an eyeshadow blendy brush, and I just can't stop doing it. It does take more time, which is the only thing that, like, every time I'm like sitting here blending it out, I'm like, oh, a sponge would be so much faster. But then when I finish blending it out, I'm like, it's so beautiful. It like looks airbrushed. I totally understand why so many professional makeup artists blend out concealer really slow and with a tiny brush now, because I feel like it just looks really beautiful. So, you know, you don't need a new concealer or anything. Just grab whatever blendy brush that you have and try it out. I feel like I'm really, really happy that I did, and it's just a technique that I've continued to use pretty much every day since then, except for when I'm in a rush. When I'm in a rush, we're not getting the airbrush look. We just need to get concealer on. I also have a blush favorite, and it was kind of, I don't know, I feel like I've talked about so many blushes recently, but the one that I feel like I've just been loving the most, that has kind of gotten my heart, is the Nearly Rose blush from Rare Beauty. It just looks like a really beautiful hot pink in the pan. It does come off a little bit lighter. It's just not as opaque on the cheeks, but it is so creamy. It just like melts on your finger when you put your finger into the pan, and it just gives like the prettiest soft pink glow. It has a really nice luminosity to it, and I've just been reaching for it a lot. I feel like originally when I tried the Nearly Neutral blush in this formula, I was disappointed because they're not the shade that they look in the pan. Like, that's one thing I'll tell you. If you're looking at this and you think you're gonna get like a really nice hot rosy pink blush, that's not the case. Like, it is a pale pink blush for sure, and I could see that if you have like a deeper skin tone, you might not like this formula because they're not very pigmented. I would definitely recommend the liquid blushes from Rare Beauty over these if you need more pigmentation in your blush. But if you like that more like washed out, like glowy, creamy blush look, I love it. And I love the packaging. I'm not wearing it right now because I wanted to go with something a little more peachy to match my eye look. Another staple that I've been loving and reaching for, and like no other product in this category is quite hitting the way that it used to, is the Glowish by Huda Beauty Soft Radiance Bronzing Powder in the shade 01 Light. This is just so beautiful on the skin. Like, it just blends like a dream. I feel like it looks just soft, and I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know what magic is happening with this powder. It's the bronzer that I have on today, but I feel like I didn't realize how much I loved this until I was using other bronzers, and I was just like, oh, it's too warm, or it's just like not looking as soft as I want or as blended as I want. And I just keep wanting to reach for this one. I've used it with big brushes, I've used it with little brushes, I've used it as eyeshadow, and I feel like no matter what, I kind of just always love how it turns out. You guys, I just have to say, I feel a little nostalgia right now, because I used to, when I first started doing my YouTube videos, I would always film like in the middle of the night. It was because I had a newborn, but I would be like up at like 1, 2 in the morning, just filming whatever I could, trying to get content live. And it's, what time is it right now? I don't want to show you guys my phone screen because it's my boyfriend and he looks so cute, and I try to keep him private, but it's 12:30 a.m. right now. So it feels nostalgic to be up this late filming. It's been so long since I have, but anyways, okay, I have some lippy favorites to share with y'all, and then we can get into the foreshadowing favorites. So the Natasha Denona Amorosa lipstick is so beautiful. I was just like, when I opened this and saw the packaging, I was obsessed right away. I don't know how I missed that it was going to be like this beautiful hot Barbie pink, but it's just feeding the Barbie core goblin that's inside of me right now. So the shade is actually like a really beautiful cool tone nude, and this is my first time trying the Need a Nude lipstick formula from Natasha Denona, but it is so comfy, so creamy. It does have like a slight vanilla scent to it. It kind of reminds me of MAC lipsticks, but I really, really like it as far as like bullet lipsticks go. I like the shade, especially for cool tone looks. I feel like it's just such a pretty nude, but then also the packaging just brings me you know, a good level of joy. I also have a tinted lip oil from Blend Bunny Cosmetics. This is the shade Love Bite, and it has been my go-to. I love all of the lip oils. They're all really beautiful, super moisturizing, super comfortable. I'm actually wearing Barely There right now, which is the clear one, which is also stunning. And it just feels like a chapstick on the lips, like a really thick, luscious chapstick, but it looks like a gloss. So like you're winning in every possible way. But I've been loving Love Bite because it's such a pretty like nude Your Lips But Better shade. Just do a little swatch for you guys. It's like this like rosy brownie tone, and I'm just obsessed. Like, it's honestly hard for me because every single time I've been finishing a look recently, I'm like looking around and I'm like, what can I use other than Love Bite? Because I don't want to get too repetitive. So the products that I'm obsessed with right now that I just tried super recently, like in the last week, would be the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. This is so beautiful on the skin. This was literally love at first application. As soon as I started applying to my skin, I was obsessed. Today I am wearing it, and I decided to mix it in with the Auric Glow Lust because I just wanted to see like how glowy can it get, and it's already really beautiful and glowy by itself, but together it is also stunning. And the thing I love about it is that I feel like it just looks good on the skin. Like, I feel like my skin looks healthy, it looks glowy, it does not look cakey. I have the shade Light 2, and I do have a first impression live already if you guys want to see like the whole application process. This mascara I just did a first impression on super recently, but I've been wearing it every single day. And I actually applied it 2 times the other day because I did 2 different videos and I ended up having to wash my makeup off. And anyways, this is the Maybelline Falsies Surreal Mascara. This grabbed my attention because I saw a really good first impression of it on TikTok. And then I saw it at my Walmart and I was just snatched up. And it has like the most beautiful soft purple packaging, which I love. The only thing I don't love about it is that like you can't stand it up, because I like to stand up my products in front of me, and like it's just not happening with this tube. But you guys, I think I finally found a winner. I think I finally found the mascara that I have been looking for, because this looks really beautiful on the lashes. I have it on today. I just have 1 coat right now. I think it looks really, really good with 2 coats, but I'm a lazy girl and normally I just apply 1 coat of mascara. But the thing that really like gets it for me is the fact that this is like a washable mascara. I saw that in the name and it like clicked, because this is actually so easy to wash off. And I love that. I hate when mascara just like sticks and clings to my lashes, and I feel like I end up damaging my lashes when I'm taking it off, because I have some like that, like the L'Oreal Telescopic, I can't remember the full name, the one that like all the controversy was about, like the falsy whatever. I love the way it looks on the lashes, but it is so hard to take off. So I don't love that about it, and that's like what holds it back from being my favorite. So with this, I feel like it looks good. It's like a nice, you know, easygoing wand. It's not too big, it's not messy, and it's easy to take off. So I am loving it. Well, actually, I have a beauty favorite, but it's like non-makeup favorites. You guys know I talk about makeup majority of the time, but I just had to mention the God is a Woman perfume from Ariana Grande. I know I've mentioned this before as a favorite, and like realistically looking at the bottle, it doesn't look like I've used that much, but it's because I have multiple perfumes that I really love. And in general, I switch it up. Like every single day I grab a different perfume because I'm trying to use all of them. But God is a Woman is definitely my favorite, like my all-time favorite perfume, I believe. It just smells so, so good. I'm gonna spray it on right now because it is amazing. If you love floral, like sweet perfumes, it just smells so good. And also every time I wear this, my man hypes me up because he is obsessed with this scent as well. And every time he goes on a trip for work, I'm like spraying this. I have a Squishmallow that he takes with him. Oh my God, he'd be so embarrassed. He'd probably be like, why are you telling this to strangers on the internet? But I'm always spraying his stuff with this perfume, so he'll smell it and think of me. Speaking of Squishmallows, maybe a sentence you wouldn't think that you'd hear on my channel, but I just had to mention this is bringing me so much joy right now because I don't know, I'm such a little kid when it comes to stuffed animals. I think they're so fun. When I was younger, it was like my favorite thing to go on trips and get to pick out a stuffed animal, and like my stuffed animal collection meant everything to me. And I've kind of done that to my son. Like I got him so many stuffed animals from like different places, and he's different than me because he's like, Mom, can we like declutter these? Like I don't need this many stuffed animals. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? Basically, my boyfriend made the mistake of getting me a Squishmallow, like my first one ever, for I think it was Valentine's Day last year, and I was so excited. I loved it so much. I was like, I can't believe you got this for me. Like it was my favorite gift and he wasn't expecting it. So since then I have collected a few, and he was like, okay, no more, like Squishmallows are taking over our bed, like this has got to stop, you know, like not like in like a mean way, but just in like a come on. And I kind of agree. I was like, okay, no more, like I have enough. And then one day he just came home and he was like, I saw this one and I just had to get it for you because he knows how I feel about octopuses. It was just a complete surprise, and it's the little things and it just makes me happy. So I thought I would include it as a favorite. Last but not least, let's talk music, y'all, because I have some recommendations and they are literally so far apart. But we'll start off with Niall Horan of One Direction. No longer of One Direction, but you know, he came out with a new album, and this man is in love, and so am I. So I relate to all the songs, and I just think that they're so cute. So the song Never Grow Up, I love. I think it is like the cutest song. And then also Must Be Love, 10 of 10. That's my favorite song. I bought really cheap tickets to go see him in concert again. I'm gonna be like all the way in the back, but I'm going to be singing my heart out to that song. I can already feel it. It is my favorite. I would say it's like romantic, like slightly a little folksy, like, I mean, it's a little popsy, but not too much. I don't know. He kind of like dabbles, like it depends on what song you're listening to, but I think that they're really cute. Then I also have to mention young Miko. So she has her Trap Kitty album, which is her original, but my favorite song right now is ID with Jowl and Randy. And basically I went to a Young Miko concert at the beginning of this month, and it was such a fun time. It was my first time like being in like an actual like club, and it was in the Bronx, and it was with people that I love, and it was just so fun. And it ended up happening that my boyfriend's brother's fiance, she was like, okay, let's go, let's get out of this club, like we need to move. And I was just like, I was not sober. I was just following along, like, sure, whatever you say, like I'm following you. And we ended up like literally right outside of young Miko's car, and there, like I like looked over and there was just like a gate, and then like every other person was behind the gate, and we were right there. She actually ended up touching her hand, and I got a picture of it, and I was just like, I wasn't even close to the car. I was just like standing back like, this is so cool. And basically I cannot stop listening to her music. So if you like reggaeton and you don't know of her yet, you are 100% missing out. I was just doing some reading about her, and she's like the first woman reggaeton artist that's like openly queer, and I think it's so amazing. So I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with the vibes, and basically that is all I'm listening to right now. Those are all of my favorites. Actually, I could also include Coke Zero, because I'm obsessed with this right now. That is everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this favorites video. I hope that you had a great month of June. I would love to know what you've been loving this month. Feel free to have a conversation with me down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.